Well, hello there, and welcome to my Floss Tube special all about cross-stitch magazines. If you have never been to my channel before, then my name is Faye, and this is my Floss Tube channel, Fayrieflossers, where I talk about cross-stitching and other crafts on a weekly basis on a Sunday evening round about tea time. But today, this is a little bit different. This is a video all about cross-stitch magazines. I've noticed on some of the Facebook groups that a lot of people have been asking about which cross-stitch magazine to subscribe to. Sadly, last year in 2020, during the pandemic, we lost a couple of our favourite magazines and there is not as much choice out on the market anymore. So I thought it might be a good idea to make a video sharing some of the magazines and showing you what they offer and why you should get one or the other, or even both like I do. So this is what we'll be doing today. We'll be discussing the magazines that once were, so the magazines of newsagents past, the magazines of subscriptions present, and also the magazines of tablets of the future. So without further ado, let's go and have a trip down memory lane and let's revisit the magazines of Christmas past. So, welcome to the magazines of newsagents past. So when I was 11 years old, many years ago, I decided that I would find a new hobby. So when I went with my parents to Asda, I escaped from the food aisles and ran down to the magazine aisles, and as always was mesmerised by the massive range of magazines that were on offer. I wasn't really into makeup and posters of boys and things when I was little, although I did get Smash Hits magazine. But what I really wanted was a new hobby, something fun to take up, something a bit different. So as I was perusing, I found a magazine that looked like this, and I decided it had a free kit on it, which I never did for a while, I don't think. I can't remember what the free kit was. And my mum saw it and thought, "What do you want that ladies magazine for?" I said, "Oh Mum, I want to learn how to cross stitch." And so I bought this magazine in September 1996 and went to the local needle workshop in Bury that is still there in the Arndale Centre, called Happy Knit, and got myself some basic embroidery threads and some Ada, like the magazine told me to. I took it home. I didn't know that I had to separate the threads, and I tried to stick with 6 strands of embroidery thread, and I stitched up a little robot and really enjoyed it. And then from then on I got hooked. So this was Quick and Easy Cross Stitch magazine. This was issue 12 that I managed to get hold of, so like real early days, and it's one of the first magazines that really hooked my interest. And Quick and Easy magazine ran through the 90s and I think to the beginning of the early 2000s. I'm not sure when it ended, but it was great. They were all quick and they were all easy, just like it says on the cover. You could make cards from it, you could make little gifts from it, little coasters. There were all sorts of really nice things you could do, and they didn't take long at all. And as a beginner in my teenage years, this was the perfect magazine for me to enjoy. But of course, you never just get one magazine. Even as a child, you need them all. And Cross Stitcher magazine was one of the other magazines out there. So this one still has its free gift on the front, which I've not took off yet. Cross Stitcher magazine offered you some bigger projects. Cross Stitcher had beautiful detailed projects with fractional stitches and French knots. So very soon I was learning lots of different skills. Cross Stitcher magazine did lots of stories in it. Lots of things to tell you about stitching in different countries, and one of my favourite things was you could get pen pals, and there was like a little list of addresses at the back of it, and you could write to people and be their pen pal. I did that at the age of 12 and 13, but I think the people I was writing to were a lot older than me, and none of them ever wrote back. So that is one little thing that I never got to do as a child, was have a stitchy pen pal. Another great thing of these magazines were the wise word pages. And I wish one of the magazines would bring this back, because it's so nice. People send in their favourite quotes, and then you can use these to put onto your own cross-stitch patterns. So of course, alongside Quick and Easy Cross Stitch, I was also getting Cross Stitcher magazine, and I'm sure, as you know, Cross Stitcher magazine is still running today. It's one of the highly successful magazines, and we will be revisiting that in another part of this video. In Cross Stitcher, you're getting much more challenging patterns now. Some much more famous designers would be in here. Jo Verso would be in here, Jane Greenough, and it really was for a slightly more advanced stitcher back then. And another of the cross stitch magazines that I used to occasionally pick up was Mary Hickmott's New Stitches. I never got this one as much, however, this also had some really beautiful patterns, particularly this one on the front. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. Let me find it for you. Can I find it? No, but also this had a lovely variety of things. A lot of cross-stitch patterns in this were based upon gifts and being able to give them to other people. I do remember when I first started out, managing to pick up an absolute pile of these little key rings and coasters in lots of car boot sales and stuff, and just having loads at home. And I never really got around to making 100 key rings and coasters, but hey, they're probably still in my shed somewhere at my mum and dad's house with all my other cross-stitch magazines. So this has been a little introduction to the magazines of cross-stitch past, and let me bring you a little bit further now into the magazine, well, the magazines of cross-stitch present. However, some of these magazines are sadly no longer with us. So, Cross Stitch Crazy. Here's a nice retro copy. This is what it looked like a long time ago. The patterns were in black and white. They were really nice, though. Yeah, we started to get new designers coming through, like Maria Diaz, making really, really beautiful things that you could put up on your wall. The great thing about Cross Stitch Crazy was, again, it was short, little, small projects, and that's the kind of thing that I was into. Each to their own, I suppose, but I really liked being able just to choose some random colours from my thread basket, because I didn't have like the full set of DMCs when I was 17, but being able to just put things together and make up little presents for people and little pictures for myself. Now, Cross Stitch Crazy magazine has only just gone into, well, it's just folded. It shut down sadly last year, and this was one of the final issues of it. And as you can see how it evolved throughout the years, from this little retro copy here to this one that had a Tatty Ted pattern inside it. It was lovely. It was a really nice magazine. It was perfect just for picking up off the shelf and stitching all the smalls, all the lovely smalls. But of course, unfortunately, it's no longer with us. So I love my cross stitch crazies. I'll never get rid of them. I'll always have them, because I've just got a whole library of small motifs that stitch up for cards, for presents, and just for things that make me happy, really. Another magazine that I need to mention of the magazines of newsagents past is Cross Stitch Gold. Sadly, this one folded last year as well, alongside Cross Stitch Crazy, and both of them were amalgamated into the world of cross stitch. Cross Stitch Gold is a much meatier magazine. I never bought it before. I've only got a couple of copies from eBay in recent times, because I've seen patterns that really, really appeal to me, just like the sunflowers in the front of this one. Cross Stitch Gold used to offer the more full coverage cross stitcher or large project cross stitcher a beautiful selection of patterns. So in these books there aren't that many patterns to choose from. However, the ones that are in here are absolutely beautiful. They're stunning. They're big, they're challenging, they have fractional stitches, French knots, everything that you could possibly want in a big project, really. They're kind of on par with Not Orbits, and on par with actual kits that you might buy as well. That's what put me off when I was younger, because large projects I never really wanted to get hold of. If I wanted to do something big, I would buy the kit because everything would be in there. However, now occasionally if I'm flipping through eBay and I see something I want, then I'll pick up that copy, because I know that one day I'll be stitching these sunflowers and probably some other projects inside of this book. So that was the magazines of newsagents past. I say newsagents past because not all newsagents have a great selection of magazines anymore. Many newsagents, and particularly where I live in London, many of our supermarkets as well have got a really depleted magazine section. You can just find your TV magazines, an absolute pile of children's magazines, and then not a lot in between. So it can be quite hard nowadays to get hold of your magazines. So let's say goodbye to the magazines of Christmas past, of cross stitch past. Welcome to the subscriptions of magazines present. So I say subscriptions because, like I mentioned in magazines past, as much as saying goodbye to magazines, it feels like we're saying goodbye to newsagents and magazine suppliers as well. So the next magazines I'm going to show you, I subscribe to both of them. The reason of this being, it does work out a little cheaper, but also I can't be guaranteed that I'm going to find it in my local WH Smiths or Tesco's or Sainsbury's or the shops near me. There has been a couple of times before I subscribed where I really wanted a cross stitch magazine because of something I'd seen in it, and I've been unable to get hold of it. So the two magazines that I'm going to talk to you about are the World of Cross Stitching magazine and Cross Stitcher magazine. And these are the two main magazines that you will find in newsagents in your local areas. These are the two main cross stitch magazines. There are little additional ones which I will discuss as well. However, these are the main two that you might want to either purchase in a shop or subscribe to. So what I'm going to do is just give you a quick rundown about each magazine. Because a lot of people ask on the Facebook groups, which one should I get? Which one's better? To me, I like them both. They both offer me different things, and I enjoy stitching projects from both of them. So let's start with the free gifts. So it's always a perk when a magazine comes with a free gift. And with Cross Stitcher magazine, this month, so this is April 2021. I went with the most recent one so that you know where we're up to if you wanted this one when this video is released. And this arrived with some classic coaster biscuits, which are really cute, really funky. Personally, I wouldn't use them as coasters. I will stitch them up and they'll take a nice place, maybe on my bookshelf or something, but there's absolutely no way anyone would be putting coffee on this. It's a bit of an unusual gift in that respect because it isn't very practical, because it is a fabric coaster with a very intricate, beautiful cross stitch that you've just done on it. But however, it is going to be a fun stitch and I am looking forward to doing it. So with the World of Cross Stitching magazine, which is also the April 2021 issue, this one arrived with a lovely kit. I adore it. Have you noticed there's a circular theme going on this month? Everything comes in rings and hoops. So this one is two absolutely gorgeous moths to stitch. There's a tiger moth and an atlas moth. And I can't believe I've not stitched them yet, because I've been wanting to do this video and show you them in the packet. And both kits, they come with everything you need. The one thing I will say is that the World of Cross Stitch, they don't put needles in, because their readers have said that they've got enough needles at home that you don't need to supply that as well. So that can cut the cost down for them and provide something slightly better inside. So cross stitcher still, as far as I know, yep, cross stitcher magazine still comes with a needle, but you do have to provide your own with this. But it comes with all the felt. Am I showing a chart? I'm going to hide the chart. It comes with all the felt, all the threads, and everything you need to put together these two sweet moths in this kit. So that's your gifts. They're always nice. One of the good things about Cross Stitcher magazine is they do sals as a gift. So they did a summer sal and a Christmas sal last year, and I stitched up both of them, and it was really nice getting all the little parts for it. If you do visit my Instagram page at Fayrieflossers, then you'll see the pictures of my finished sales from last year. And yeah, for both magazines, I do think that the gifts are really good value for money. I probably wouldn't subscribe if there weren't gifts. I'd probably just get the patterns I wanted online. So let's have a look at Cross Stitcher. So as you know, Cross Stitch has been going many years, as I showed you in the magazines of the past. However, it has changed a lot over that time. It is now quite up to date, quite quirky. It has a lot of a variety of patterns, shall I say. This one particular is part of a set. Now, one of the things about Cross Stitcher magazine is they have a lot of sales going on, and they have a lot of part sets. So this is one of them, and this is Seasons of Spring. The winter colours and the summer colours have already been released, so this is now part 3. They also have a regular, let me cover her chart, a regular stitching with Jess page, who is one of the designers, and every month she'll put one of her stitches in her charts in below, which I couldn't show you at the moment. She's focusing on the language of flowers, so every month you get a different flower to stitch. And also another designer, Zoe Patching, is doing a series of rooms, and this is room to sew. So every month you get a different room in the house to sew. So yeah, there are a lot of series with this, and every year they do a beautiful stitch along, which is a little bit fantasy based. Last year it was Alice in Wonderland. This year it's Grimm's Fairy Tales. So this month it's the Elves and the Shoemaker. I am planning on starting this. Actually, I've got all the material for it. I just need to get a frame to put it in and get going on it, really, and just get to move on. But yeah, it can have its pros and cons, I think, with Cross Stitcher having so many sales, because once you've got one of the series, you then need to start, if this is your first copy, then you need to start looking for the back issues to try and get hold of the other copies as well, which can be a bit annoying. If it's not a standalone pattern, you might be constantly searching and foraging for sales. However, on the plus side of that, it has like a lot of movement in it. It gives you something to do every 2 months, every month if you're doing one of the monthly sales. If you're waiting for the colours of autumn, that will probably be coming out towards the autumn, towards the end of the year, and it gives you something to look forward to as well, and you can complete a set of really nice stitching to put up in your house. So that is Cross Stitcher magazine, and then I'm going to just talk to you a bit now about the world of Cross Stitch magazine. So last year, when Cross Stitch Gold and Cross Stitch Crazy folded, a lot of the prepared patterns that were going to go in those magazines are now going to go into this magazine. So they've all kind of amalgamated into this one magazine. Now, I never bought the World of Cross Stitch pre-Cross Stitch Crazy because I was a bit of a small project person back then. However, since I've been getting more and more into my stitching, this last year, I decided that I would continue to get hold of this, because there are some really, really nice stitches in it. So as you can see from the front page, we've got Peter Rabbit modelling the magazine, which is awesome. I think to have characters like this, which are normally copyrighted in magazines, because obviously they have got the copyright for it, makes it a lot more up to date, a lot more, what's the word? People want to buy official things. You don't always want the fakes off Etsy and off Pinterest because they don't always look great. If you can get something like this that has got the copyright, you're going to get a proper Beatrix Potter pattern, and it makes it worth the £5.99 that you're paying really just to get that pattern. Because if you think about how much some of these can cost, then that's that's your money well spent in the first place, in my opinion. This is my opinion, this video, by the way. Don't quote me word for word what I am saying. It also has some really nice patterns in it. So we've got these absolutely gorgeous Eid patterns for cards. I think they're a bit big for cards. I'd have them displayed all around my house, really, or like where those lights are. I'd get some little pegs and dangle them from the lights and just display them all. This is by this absolutely fabulous new designer called Peri Abdel Hadi, and she's just started putting her designs in World of Cross Stitch, and she has the most beautiful watercolour palette when she puts things together. I adore it. And then another really cool one in here. So World of Cross Stitching now has everything really that you could have found in Crazy, World of, and Gold, and a lot of big patterns are in here, like this absolutely amazing Cool for Cats one. Let me hold it close up. So it's like a kaleidoscope of different cats. It looks so much fun to do. I think I am going to kit that up at some point, because you can never have too many cat stitches in your house, particularly our house. And of course there are little smalls as well, like these very sweet little labels for your herbs. Let me hold it a bit closer so you can see. So yeah, there is a great selection in here now, which is one of the reasons I haven't cancelled my subscription. When my Cross Stitch Crazy subscription cancelled because the magazine had folded, they put me automatically onto this. So at first I was a bit like, oh, I've never bought this before. But every month I see something in it that I really do quite like and I really would like to stitch. So I have continued to purchase it. So they are your two main magazines. Both of them have so many great things about them. That is why I get them both. So you've had a little look at mine. So have a think about which one you'd want to subscribe to. If there's one you want to commit to every month, then one that you're just quite happy to pick up in a shop when you see it, maybe, or just try and grab some back issues off eBay or whatnot, then there we go. I hope that has helped you to have a look and decide what you think about the magazines that are in our shops at the moment. I think it is so sad that we've gone from at least 4 down to 2 magazines, but it's just the way it's going at the moment. It's just the way things have changed. Another magazine that does come out on occasion, I haven't seen one for a while, I'll be honest, unless there is at the moment a Lucy Heaton Cross Stitch Favourites magazine, which I've not got hold of, and last summer there was a Doreen Jones one as well, which was quite hard to get hold of. And there is a set of these Cross Stitch Favourites magazines, and every month, every quarter, I think it is, so spring, summer, autumn, winter, they'll bring out a different theme. So this one is the animal themed one, and I know if you do go onto subscriptions like Readly, then you will find that there are card ones and Christmas ones, and there's a cats and dogs one as well, an oriental one. So there's quite a few different ones which theme themselves around one thing. What I do find about these though, however, and you'll notice if you start skimming through Readly, is that they do repeat the same patterns a few times in the magazine, so you can buy one and then find the exact same thing in another magazine. But it is quite nice. It's nice to have like a little collection of the same things. and this is a nice one, the animal one. If you can get this one still on eBay or through a back issue company, then I recommend it. It's lovely. And as I am still talking about magazines, a Christmas present, you can also, through a variety of people like Kate from Sparklies and some of the websites as well, I'm not too sure where else sell them, but Just Cross Stitch magazine release a Christmas ornament and a Halloween ornament special every year, and they're about, well, it depends where you get them from, about £7 to £10 depending on postage and stuff. And every year all the designers create something new for the magazine and pop it in here, and I've had a great time with these. I've stitched a couple of things from the Halloween, but I really got into the Christmas one this year, and I'll definitely be ordering these next year as well. So I think that is my discussion of the magazines of Christmas. I'm going to end this with Christmas every time because I've just got the Christmas Carol in my head now because I'm doing the past, present and future. I'm a librarian. I read books. I can't help myself. The magazines of cross-stitch present, or the magazines of subscriptions present, because it's hard to find magazines in newsagents these days. So stay tuned, because next we'll be discussing the magazines of Tablet's future. So here we are, back for the final segment, the magazines of Tablet's future. We've had our walk down memory lane, back to the newsagents of days gone by, of cross-stitch crazy and quick and easy cross-stitch. We've met the present magazines that are out, but now it's time to think about how further we can go to get our cross-stitch fix. What else is there out there? Why did we get these expensive tablets and we never use them apart from booking a holiday when we can? I mean, what do we even use them for now? So there is an app, there's many apps for magazines. However, the one that I use is called Readly. This is my trusty Kindle. I don't really read on my Kindle that much. However, since getting Readly, I've been enjoying it an awful lot more. So Readly is a subscription to a magazine app, and you pay £7.99 a month, and it gives you entry to over, well, probably maybe 1,000 magazines at least, of every single topic you could imagine. It's got children's ones, it's got adult ones, it's got craft, it's got cooking. Anything you could possibly wish for is probably on here. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. So what I've done is I've saved some of my favourites in here. Can you see that screen? It's a bit of a glare at the moment, but when I click on one and make it bigger, then hopefully it will get better. So there is a nice little variety of cross-stitch magazines on here. We have got your World of Cross Stitch magazine, which I've shared with you already. We have also got Cross Stitcher magazine, and the back issues go back for about 5 years maybe. It just depends on each magazine. Some go back further, some go back less. However, one of the good things about Readly is you can also get hold of Just Cross Stitch magazine. Now, you may know that this is an American magazine, therefore it is hard to get a hold of in the UK shops. Occasionally you can pick up the Christmas special, but it is very rare to find this in a UK shop. However, on the app you can get Cross Stitch magazine, or Just Cross Stitch magazine, going back for at least, I think it's about 2014. I'm not sure, but there's enough on there though to find some really, really nice things. So you've got Just Cross Stitch magazine. Alongside that, you have got, okay, so here we go. This shows you some of the back issues available. So you've got a great selection of back issues to choose from. This is quite hard to show you because the lighting is glaring in all the wrong places. So alongside Just Cross Stitch magazine, you've also got X Stitch magazine, which was set up by Mr. X-Stitch. And let me just get it back to the front page to give you a nice shot of it. I've been reading it, that's why. There we go. So that's what X-Stitch magazine. I'm going to have to do this. If I leave my laptop there. There we go. No, that's poor. That's terrible. Move it back. There we go. That's almost okay. You just have to look at it at an angle, I'm afraid. X-Stitch magazine is really fun, quirky designs. I'm not going to flick through because I might get the charts up by accident, but all the newest designers designing this. I think there's 15 charts per magazine, and I think it comes out about 3 or 4 times a year. So you've got X-Stitch magazine. And then the nice thing about Readly is you've also got magazines from different, hello Marley, magazines from different countries as well. So alongside just cross stitch coming from America, I have also hunted out, let's see, I love Punto Croce, which is an Italian cross-stitch magazine, and you can find charts in here which are really, really nice. I won't flip through because you can't get a good look with all the glare, can you? Bye Molly. And also I have found Kreuzstitch. Now I shouldn't know how to say this because I've got an A-level in German, but I think I want to pronounce it Kreuzstitch magazine, which is a German magazine full of really, really nice patterns as well. Now, one of the weird things about this magazine is it talks to you about all the magazines in the front, and I said about all the charts in the front, but I couldn't figure out where the charts were, but they're all at the back. So you read about them first, and then the charts are all in the back few pages of the magazine. And yeah, this is opposite. I've only just noticed this one today. I think this is all the cross-stitch magazines that there are on here. If you find any more, please do let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that's my little selection of mostly cross-stitch magazines. I've also got Molly Makes on there, my favourites, because sometimes they do cross-stitch and gorgeous embroideries. And also Love Embroidery magazine, because that's another magazine I do subscribe to. Alongside cross-stitch, I do like to try other embroidery techniques as well. So this is what I have on my Kindle, the Readly app. I'll put a link down, well, I'll put it in the comment below how to spell Readly so you know how to find it. And that concludes my magazine special. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me today and having a look at the different magazines that are out there and the different ways of connecting with these magazines as well. I know there are a lot more out there. One of the ones I haven't mentioned is the Hatchet Disney collection that came out last year, which is a subscription one, a part subscription one, so you get it every month. You kind of sign up. It's like a contract kind of thing. You kind of sign up for it and it comes through your door every month, and I've heard really, really good things about that. I'm not sure if you can still get hold of it, but it's just something that I wasn't really wanting to get hold of last year. So there is that one, and I also know that Davana Lee Designs has done an Australian magazine called Down the Rabbit Hole, which I'm still yet to purchase, and that might be on my shopping list this week actually. And I know that Davana Lee does some amazing things in that, and lots of cross stitchers like Gail Phillips have done really, really cute designs to go in there. So of course this is a British channel, so I'm only really showing you what we can get in Great Britain. However, I do know there is an overlap to magazines in other countries as well. So please in the comments below let me know what you thought of this video. Please give it a like, and please subscribe to my channel if you did enjoy it. If you want to see more videos like this, Floss Tube specials, and please let me know if you've got any ideas what you'd like me to talk about next. And it's been really, really nice joining you today. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Thank you for those who do like and subscribe to my channel. It's just top. It's just really, really nice. So I've got a lovely afternoon planned, flicking through some magazines now, choosing what I'm going to be stitching next. So have a great week wherever you are. Come and join me on Sunday for my regular Floss Tube update. Keep stitching, keep smiling, and I shall see you soon. Bye!